Hey everybody, it's Kayla and welcome back to another book read. Today's video is going to be my November TBR wrap up. So if you enjoy this kind of video, please like and subscribe and comment. I loved hearing from you guys. So let's go ahead and jump into the books. So I had them in order. Oh, here it is. The first book I read this month was The Royals Next Door by Karina Halley, and it was really cute. So I'll read you the synopsis and then we'll get into my thoughts. Piper Evans, elementary school teacher by day, avid romance reader, and anonymous podcaster by night. She has a quiet, reclusive life, taking care of her mother, who lives with mental illness, avoiding her regrettable ex, who bartends in town, and trying to make inroads in the tight-knit island community that still sees her, 5 years in, as an outsider. And she's happy with how things are. Really. Until British royals rent the property next to hers and their brooding bodyguard decides she's a security threat. Piper quickly realizes that one person's fairy tale is an ordinary woman's nightmare as a media frenzy takes over the island, and each run-in with Harrison Cole is hotter and more confusing than the last. But beneath Harrison's no-nonsense exterior lies a soft heart, one that could tempt the woman who's sworn off attachments into believing in white knights. But when Piper finds herself smack in the middle of a royal scandal that rocks the island, she'll need more than Harrison's strong arms to shield her. She'll have to do a little rescuing herself. With careers, hearts, and friendships in the line, Piper and Harrison will have to decide what they're willing to give up for a chance at their own happily ever after. I loved it. I loved it so much. I think I finished it in about 2 days. It was so cute. And I honestly would love to have a sequel and to just find out what happens to them maybe a few years down the line. They do a little, end part that kind of tells you a little bit about, I think it was 6 months. Oh no, it was 2 years. I'm like, maybe 5 years. Let's go 5 years and let's write another story because I want to go back into Piper's erratic brain and just see how being with somebody who is so straight-laced and a rule follower has kind of brought her together and maybe a little more organized, and maybe her disorganized erraticness has kind of brought him out of his gotta do everything, A, B, C, D. Maybe he skips over, does F first. I don't know. But I think it would be really cute, and this book was amazing. So the next book that I attempted to read was Better Together by Christine Riccio, and I did not finish it. This was the first book of the month that got DNF'd, but I'll read you the synopsis and then we'll get into it. Jamie's an aspiring stand-up comic in Los Angeles with a growing case of stage anxiety. Siri's a stunning ballerina from New Jersey nursing a career-changing injury. They've both signed up for the same session at the off-the-grid Rediscover Yourself retreat in Colorado. When they run into each other, their worlds turn upside down. Jamie and Siri are sisters, separated at a young age by their parents' volatile divorce. They've grown up living completely separate lives. Jamie with their dad and Siri with their mom. Now, reunited after more than a decade apart, they hatch a plot to switch places. It's time they get to know, and then confront each of their estranged parents. With an accidental assist from some fortuitous magic, Jamie arrives in New Jersey looking to the world like Siri, and Siri sets off her flight sporting a Jamie glamour. Their ensuing adventure is rife with emotion, hijinks, romance, and self-reflection as the girls are thrust from their comfort zones and forced to confront their past so they can navigate their future. It sounded so cute when I picked it up at Barnes & Noble's, and I was so excited. I was so dead set on it being very soon in my TBR. And I did not make it, I think the 5th chapter. And I was just this book is not for me. It seemed really weird to me that very clearly they're 18 in the book. And they've only been separated for a decade, which would mean that they were roughly, 6, 7 when they were separated. And Siri doesn't even remember that she has a sister. She thinks, she just has this estranged dad. And it just seems very weird to me. But the other one very clearly remembers her. It's just very strange. The whole beginning of the book was very strange. I'm not going to just discard it and not try again. I will try again, just not anytime soon. The third book that I went for is Jane in Love by Rachel Givney. And I was so excited because I love Jane Austen, but this is also a DNF. I'll read you the synopsis and then we'll get into it. Bath, England, 1803. At 28, Jane Austen prefers walking and reading to falls. She also dreams of someday publishing her carefully crafted stories. Above all, she wants love. In grave danger of becoming a spinster, Jane goes searching for a radical solution, and by accident time travels. She lands in Bath, England, present day, the film set of Northanger Abbey. As Jane acquaints herself with the horseless carriages and shocking fashions of the 21st century, she also discovers she's now a published author, a famous one. She befriends Sophia Wentworth, a fading Hollywood actress starring in the new period film, who offers to help Jane return to her own time. Then Jane meets Fred, Sophia's brother, who has the audacity to be handsome, clever, and kind-hearted. But when Jane starts falling in love with Fred, disaster strikes. All her books begin disappearing from the shelves. Jane realizes that the longer she remains in the 21st century, the more she will erase herself from history. Jane must decide, is a chance at love worth staying lost in time? It sounds so cute, and I was so excited to start this book this month. I mean, I literally just picked it up at it must have been like the first week of November. Yeah, I think that was about what it was. Because I love Jane Austen. The book, the cover is adorable. And I made it a little over halfway through the book before I put it down. I just felt like a lot of it was very monotonous. Very much Jane just being like, oh my goodness, what is that? Oh my goodness, what is that? Over the same things. And I was like, at some point she would have figured out what this was and not have kept questioning it. And it was just like, we're 90%, or not 90, now look at me, I'm like, we're 60% of the way through the book and we're nowhere closer to figuring anything out. We're just kind of believing her that she's in a present day. It just kind of seemed like it was moving at a very snail's pace and very much just being a constant reiteration of, oh my goodness, the 21st century is so different. I'm like, yeah, we all get it. But I do want to finish it because it was really cute and her relationship with Fred is really cute. So I will put it back in the TBR at one point. The next book that I read and finished is Breaking Down the Duke by Evie Dunmore. This book was so cute. Let's read the synopsis and then we'll get my thoughts. England, 1879. Brilliant but destitute Annabel Archer is one of the first female students at Oxford University. Her scholarship demands that she recruit men of influence to champion the rising women's suffrage movement. Her target, the cold and calculating Duke of Montgomery, commander of Britain's politics. But Montgomery wouldn't be the kingdom's greatest strategist if he couldn't turn the tables and confront Annabel with an altogether different offer. Locked in a battle with rising passion and impossible attraction, Annabel will learn just what it takes to topple the Duke. It's so cute. And I don't know that I agree with topple the Duke because I feel like that's very much just seeing like she set out to bring him down and take him down a few notches, whereas it's very much a love story. They very much fall for each other. It's, yes, she is out to at first get him to champion their women's suffrage movement, and he's very much on a different path at that time. But it was a really cute book, and it's a part of the A League of Extraordinary Women novels, and I'm going to definitely pick up the rest of them because this book was that good. So those were the 4 books that I started and finished or started and put down this month. I know it's a little less than my normal. Usually I do hit the 5 books a month mark, but at Thanksgiving I was a little slower, and then we've had a lot of hockey games and I've just kind of really taken up like full weekend blocks, and I feel like I've done a lot of extra working and just I think a lot. I really tried for at least 2 weeks with that Jane in Love book, so that kind of was a big chunk of time in November. But I just started this book yesterday, The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So I'm about 60 pages in, and so we're not gonna really read the synopsis or anything on this one because I'm going to add it to my December TBR, considering it's already started. But I am in the middle of one of the books of my my November TBR, and it will be finished. And so we'll add it as part of the December wrap up. So I only left one, The Darkest Star, and that will be moved to January because I already have 5 books set out for December, and then we'll add the Inheritance Games, which will make 6. So yes, that was my November wrap up. Fingers crossed December goes better and I get all of my books read and I enjoy all of my books. I don't have to put any of them down. I have a full theme going for November, or for December. I'm still stuck on November because that's the month we're in. So I'm excited. I really like Christmas. So I'm really excited. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.